Greetings, beautiful soul. My name is Clara Kalimbi de Luz, and I'm here to accompany you on your healing journey. I am at the beach in my hammock. This is my happy place. And today I wanted to talk about confidence. Confidence, and especially in situations where we've been through some challenging times, and this may cause us to lose a bit of our confidence. So I'll just share a little story. I've always been confident in certain things of myself, mainly academic things, my work as a teacher, my ability to write, all those things. But then when I started on my healing journey, because there was so much trauma, I talk about this in my video about starting your healing journey, what you need to know. I can post the link below. That can be a very difficult time, especially if you've had a lot of different trauma, which was my case. So for a time of several years, I wasn't really able to do the things that I used to be able to do. I wasn't as organized. I would kind of drop the ball sometimes. I wasn't making progress on my PhD. I had a lot of struggles. And, so there was a few years where I had not worked. And now I'm looking for work. And, sometimes it's a little hard to get back into work. It could be that you're getting back into work for similar reasons as me, or maybe you have been, stay-at-home mom, or for whatever reason that your work was interrupted. It can be hard to get back and be confident and talk about your experience and all those things. So today I had an interview and it was actually quite interesting. It's the first interview I've had in many years. And what I noticed is that, first of all, confidence, just to explain, is really about remembering. Remembering your skills, your abilities, your strengths. Just because you're not confident about something doesn't mean that you don't have the ability. It's more a matter of you kind of have forgotten a little bit of your strengths. So what I did to prepare for this interview is I looked back. This interview was for a project management position, and I had never had a job as a project manager, so I had to really look at, okay, but like, what are the skills here, and how have I developed these skills in other ways other than this kind of job. And I have to say it was quite interesting, because I realized that a lot of my experiences, some of them, I had, like, before embarking on my current PhD project, I was doing a very complex study. That was my first original project. I was conducting it both in Canada and China with parents and their children in school, observing them, interviewing. It was very complex. And I thought, well, I managed that project well. So I was a project manager of my own project. Of course, project management, it also involves coordinating people and things like this, like a team, in this case anyway. I guess in many cases. So, but I guess one of the things that I realized was, wow, I really developed a lot of skills at that time, and there were some other some other unconventional ways that I developed skills, such as taking on my ex-husband's accounting when he started a corporation. Even though I had no training in accounting, I just took a couple of courses and self-taught myself. And another one that I find quite amusing is when we were going through our separation, I couldn't afford a lawyer, and I did research and I wrote up our separation agreement myself. And it was so well done that the mediator actually offered me a job as a paralegal. So the thing is, in this interview, I talked about these things, which are rather personal and unconventional, and this is an academic interview, right? Which is, people in academia are quite conservative usually, and I think my experience is a little unusual, and so part of confidence is being authentic and being true to who you are. And this is my life. This is what happened. This is what I learned. This is the skills I developed because of these unusual circumstances. Kind of unusual, I think. And so I had to own that, and I did own that, and I was happy with the interview. And then a few hours later, I was like, oh my god, that was too much. Like, they'll think I'm kind of like crazy, these things. Like, it wasn't a typical way of being interviewed, right? So I went into the whole critical self-doubt thing. And actually, I did a sound healing video on this, how to get rid of the critical voice in your head. So I'm going to be listening to that tonight, I think. I'll post that below too if you're interested. Because you can link the critical voice in your head often to something that has happened, especially in your childhood, but even later. And then if you're aware of where the critical voice is coming from, you can deal with it, So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to share. If you're having anxiety and you're having low confidence, it's really going back, thinking about the things you've done, realizing what skills you developed during those times, and then being yourself and authentically sharing these things and believing in yourself, because people can really feel your energy and your vibe, and if people sense that you're confident about doing the work that they are interviewing for, then they will be more confident that you can do it as well. It'll catch on your energy. And one more thing, a related kind of idea that I've been thinking about is, I've gone through some changes in my work life. Mostly I was a teacher, and then I did a lot of research, and now more, I do sound healing. I've always been writing, but now I'm doing more creative writing. I'm making videos, right? I'm really tapping into more of a creative side. And I'm really excited about this work that I'm doing now. And sometimes I look back and I think, what was the point of like teaching for so many years? Or what was the point of like doing that first PhD project that lost me like 3-4 years, lost. But as I was going through the process of preparing for this interview and then having the interview, I just realized, like, wow, every single thing that we do in our lives, whether it's work-wise or personally or whatever, they all serve a purpose. They all serve a purpose, and they all help us develop different skills and abilities, different strengths. And I just saw that. I just felt like, wow, the first PhD project that I was doing that, like, seems like what was the point because I never finished it. It actually developed my abilities so much, and all of the things that I developed doing that project will serve me a great deal when you know, in a position of being a project manager, or even in my own business, you know, making connections with people, setting things up. I want to open a healing retreat in the future, so being able to set things up, to make things happen. So I've actually experienced this feeling of being happy about all the things that I have done in my life. And yeah, I just want to encourage you to do the same, to look back at your life. And, you know, for example, if you spent many years home with your children, or maybe you were homeschooling your children, or you had a lot of change in career, all of those experiences brought you something that will serve you in your future endeavor, or whatever it is. So please reflect on your life, your experiences, and see them in a positive way. And then when you are seeing those, your confidence will grow, and you will be able to present yourself in a way that's very impressive. Look at all the things I've done, all the things I managed, and this is why you should hire me. So thank you for watching. If you have any comments,